Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahabashai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. And I say Shalom to Akmanakwath out there, doing this true diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. I don't necessarily have a title for this one either. Another one where I'm just going, impromptu. I'm going to grab some scriptures on it. Not sure how long it'll run. But this is from a comment from one of my lessons that I made a few months ago, I believe, titled Stop Arguing with Cops, Jake. And I have the screenshot from it. As you can see, I have the screenshot from it. Got a full screen, so it looks like just my regular screen, but we can zoom in and we can do, whatever we need to do with it. Now, I took the screenshot. I can tell you a rough approximation of when exactly it happened, because so it was last month on the 26th is when, at least when I took the screenshot, and I replied to it an hour, so it had to have been last month on the 26th. So I'll keep it like this because it's hard to go in and out with when it's full screen like that. But I guess at some point in there, okay, I mentioned Esau going into captivity. He must have got hurt about it. So this guy here, Scotty Woods, fuck you. Scotty Woods 8651 got real upset about, us speaking about, or not us, but me, and us as being brothers in this truth. They got real upset about us teaching about the heathens going into captivity, notably Esau, Edom, and decided to come on and make 3 posts in which, I decided to respond to all of them. Some of them mockingly, some of them, giving actual, scripture. So the first one that he posted, I don't know in which order that he posted them, but he posted them all at the same time. But I actually ended up giving this one a heart just so he could be pinned, forever. And as a matter of fact, let's go and see if I can find this. There it is. So, yeah, it talked about, how Esau is and how they're going into captivity. He got upset about that. So, of course, I won't even use a screenshot. We can close it out because I got it right here. So let's go see what Scotty Woods is all about. Oh, a whole page of nothing. And this page joined April 2nd of 2020, which makes me think that this could be a bot account. At the end of the day, we really don't even know. More than likely it is some hurt-ass Edomite, but they could have bots going around doing this type of stuff. But he says, read us the passages telling you how to treat your slave. Okay? Telling you how to treat your slave. And the problem with that is that he's dealing with the ones that are talking about Hebrew servants. Okay? When you have a Hebrew servant, and there are rules. But Esau doesn't listen to rules, okay, as same thing right here. He says Colossians 3 and 22. Now, let's go and read Colossians 3 and 22 because he wanted to go ahead and bring it up, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, Colossians 3 and 22. It says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing Yahweh. Okay, so that's dealing with servants, okay, and again, this would be in a correct order, okay, a correct order. You, on the other hand, nowhere in here does it say that you should be. I can't even name all this. Nowhere does it talk about buck breaking, or motherfucking, or starving them, or all. I mean, I could go on. Really, at the end of the day, lynching them, putting them on postcards, dangling babies over alligators. I mean, at no point was that ever mentioned as something that should be going on, but you did it, okay, because you didn't follow the rules, okay? You didn't follow the rules, okay? And as a matter of fact, if we get Colossians 3 and 22, it should, who is referring to, should be Hebrew servants, I believe. Let's see. Slaves refers to the household slaves or bond servants in the context of ancient Greco-Roman world. These were people who were legally owned by others and expected to work in households, farms, and businesses. In the first century Roman Empire, slavery was a widespread and socially accepted institution. And also, even back then, Esau, they didn't do it like the trans-Atlantic slave trade. It's hard to explain. You got to know history. Paul, the author of Colossians, is addressing the social reality of his time. He gives instruction for how Christians in various roles, including wives, husbands, children, and slaves, should conduct themselves in light of their faith. While the verse does not condone or promote slavery as a moral good, it acknowledges the system that existed and instructs believers to act with integrity and in reverence to Yahweh within their current situations. The verse has been controversial, especially because it was misused to justify slavery, as this guy's trying to do. It says, however, a deeper reading of the New Testament shows that Paul also speaks about equality in Hamashiach, Galatians 3 and 28, and encourages masters to treat slaves justly. Let's get Colossians 4 and 1. Okay? All right. Right here. Showing you that also this is speaking about Israel, okay, that was doing this. It says, Colossians 4 and 1, Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal, knowing that ye also have a master in heaven. Okay, of course that's referring to Israel, because the Esau doesn't have a master, all right? They had the opportunity, but, well, not really, because he'd already been rejected from the womb, all right? Everything had been predestinated, preordained, all right, to happen the way it happened, okay? So, like it says in Colossians 4 and 1, Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal. What is just? All right, honest, decent, righteous, all right, it really means righteous, but, you know, honorable, ethical, being ethical. Okay, being ethical. What is being ethical? Relating to moral principles or the branch of knowledge dealing with these. As a matter of fact, we can show you can get Hebrews 12 and 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. In Hebrews 12 and 16. So profane, what does profane mean? Okay, denoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular, okay, worldly, okay, ungodly, okay, godless, disrespectful, desecrate. What does desecrate mean? To treat a sacred place or thing with violent disrespect, to violate, all right? What does violate mean? To break or fail to comply with, okay? And who are they failing to comply with? The Lord, all right? They're profane in all ways, shapes, and forms. And as a matter of fact, according to how he was in the Bible, was Esau in any shape or form considered ethical? Okay. Who is Esau? Esau was the older twin brother of Jacob, son of Isaac and Rebekah, Genesis 25. He was a hunter, a man of the field, and the firstborn, meaning he had the legal right to the birthright and blessing. But he sold his birthright. Okay. It talks about it. It says, implication, this was an unethical act. Esau showed disregard for sacred responsibility in favor of immediate gratification. His marriage choices. We don't really even need to get all of them, but And he really, at the end of the day, didn't really forgive Jacob. He only really forgave Jacob because of the Jacob Yiquabbed him once again. Okay, so no, he's not ethical. He's not portrayed as an ethically upright or spiritually minded person in the Bible, especially in his younger years. His impulsiveness, disregard for the birthright, and marital decision, reflect a lack of moral and spiritual maturity. All right, now if we go up to let's see. They were a source of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. You're technically allowed to still outside of his covenant line. You're still allowed to, get with heathen women. They're kind of getting that twisted, but so he's not ethical. Okay, so he doesn't know how to treat them ethically. Okay, he doesn't know how to be just. Okay, he's profane, not just, profane. So going back, he tries to say something like that, and I responded and I said, that's referring to when it's actually done correctly. You Edomites didn't keep it correctly because you can't follow rules. It's hilarious how hurt you are, though. Thanks for the laugh. Okay, so you have Edomites that'll come and try to throw, scripture around, not knowing what it means, and it's talking about is what you did ethical? All right. Let's see. So back to Colossians 4:1. I have a question. Would you consider what the white man did in the transatlantic slave trade to be following those guidelines in Colossians 4:1? Okay, says that's a profound and important question. Let's examine Colossians 4:1. And mind you, this is not my ChatGPT. You see that I'm not logged in. This is just the basic one. Okay, I'm not logged in. So you can't say, oh, I trained it. No, mine's over here. You can say I trained it, all right? But you can't say that when I use this one, all right? And I only trained mine to basically speak more human, right? I think I've actually showed the actual prompts that I've given it in my settings before. I may or may not have, but there's nothing in there that that's crazy. It's just basically saying, feel free to use swear words if you feel like it. Don't swear when you're in the middle of scriptures, though. Give me the apocrypha and the all these different things. That's what's in there. Nothing like, oh, you must be. There's nothing about Hebrew Israelism in there because what's the point? I want an unbiased opinion. I think there might be something in there. No, I think I usually ask it to be unbiased. There's nothing in there that I don't think I said specify no bias, but I do ask it if it starts being too biased to not be biased. I should put that in there. But it says this verse instructs slave masters, Colossians 4:1, to treat those under their authority with justice and fairness, what is right and what is fair, with the understanding that Yahweh is their master and they are accountable to him. Paul is appealing to the idea of moral responsibility and a higher standard of justice that transcends human laws, namely Yahweh's justice. So even if if you have a captive, there's a certain way you have to treat them. Okay? And even like with when we have our captives, now it's going to be a little bit different in the kingdom because that's a righting for a wrong. Okay? We didn't really do anything to you at the end of the day, Esau. You got a hold of us and just wanted to beat the shit out of us because you sold your blessing. You sold your Kia, your Toyota. And when you saw us driving it, you said, fuck it, I want it back. And we said, no, man, we bought it. And now you said, well, I'm going to kill you for it. We didn't do anything wrong. Now, we did do something wrong on the Lord's side because we were going off. So that's why he let you get a hold of us. But we didn't do anything wrong to you, okay? But you have done wrong to us. So in the kingdom, it's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, you're going to get your ass beat. You're going to be out there working in the hottest days, sweating, very little breaks. But at the end of the day, guess what? You're going to get fed. You're going to be hydrated to an extent, all right? Probably won't be, full of water, but to an extent. But again, that comes it's going to be it's still not going to be as harsh of a condition as what you put us through, but it's going to be, in a way it's going to be as harsh, but in a way it's not going to be as harsh. It's going to be as harsh, probably harsher, but in a righteous standpoint. We're not going to be sticking broomsticks up your ass. We're not going to be doing weird sick shit like that, or eating your flesh, or doing homosexual acts like you did with us. So again, that goes back into justice. We're going to do what's right. Okay. So, and that we're going to do what's fair. All right. And it's only fair that you get that punishment put upon you because you did it to us. That's fair. That's equal. All right. You get that back. Okay. So you're going to say, oh, well, you're going to do it back. You said we weren't right. What did we do to you? We didn't do anything. You did that because you wanted to do it. We're doing it for a right, for a wrong, for justice and for fairness, because there's no justice that goes out in the society, nor is there fairness that goes out in the society. So you have to repay, okay? Justice is going to happen to you. So you can't say, oh, well, if you're going to do all those things, that isn't really justifiable or more. It is justifiable because it's through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He has scriptures where he talks about how we're going to act, okay? And Psalms 2 and 8, notably, okay? And mind you, you go, oh, that was so-and-so that spoke, or this, that was Paul, or this, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day who it is, because all scripture is given by authority of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay? So it wouldn't be in there if he didn't want it in there. So nice try, because people try to get around that. Well, no, that's just, a man said that. Well, guess what? You're saying the Lord's wrong, because then the Lord shouldn't have had it in there, right? That's what you're saying. Wrong. So it's now to your question. Was what the white man did in the transatlantic slave trade following these guidelines in Colossians 4 and 1? Absolutely not. Why? Here's why. Point by point. Brutality and injustice. And this is why, they're probably going to get to a point where they try to make ChatGPT even more locked down, because it's revealing too much, right? When you give ChatGPT a learning model access to all internet, and now it really does, because you can actually ask it to search things. It can look on Wikipedia or other sites. It can go and look through books and certain things like that if you give it to it. You got this thing that knows not everything, but a vast chunk of what's on the internet and a vast chunk of what happened throughout history, and you start having it compare things to scripture and see who's who, and it keeps on routinely finding out that, oh, Jacob seems to be would fit more, with the so-called black people, and then Moab seems to be the Chinese people. And I have it. It did that before. It knows these things. It's going to get to a point where they can't have that running loose. They're going to limit it, or at least strip us our ability to use it to the extent that we can use it now, especially when it's going out and saying, proving GMS right all the time. Not that I'm a part of GMS, but those are the beloved brothers that I watch. And may Yahweh Shem Yahushai bless them. And if you want the truth, hey, that's where you get it. GMS. That's where I got it from, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. And so if you want it, get it from them. All right. I try to teach to the best of my ability in the same way. That's who I learned from. I'm just not necessarily part of their camp. Right. So, when you have it proven all these things, it's only a matter of time before Esau says, fuck it, cut it, pull the plug on it, man. We're sick of this. And saying stuff like this. Right. Here's why, point by point. Why doesn't it fit Colossians 4 and 1? ChatGPT, tell us. It says brutality and injustice. The transatlantic slave trade involved kidnapping, torture, grape, murder, and lifelong dehumanization. Slaves were treated as property, not as people made in the image of Yahweh. Families were torn apart, and cultural identities were erased. That's some other shit that we're not going to be doing. We're not going to take you, and here it is, you had your slave wife, and we're not going to purposely go and move her on the other side of the world just to keep her away from you, so you suffer. Or you're not going to have kids. We're not going to take those kids and move those, 3,000 light years beyond you. All right? Just the whole family can work. All right? Get to working. Right? So, of course, 1-year-olds, and stuff like that you have, who knows what's going to be done with them. They're probably not going to be able to work too much. Right? Just like with our kids, they didn't really do too much. They still treated them wrong as well. They were doing sick shit with that, but we're different. It says violation. This is the opposite of what is right and fair. Racism and dehumanization. The system was rooted in the belief that black people were inferior or less than human. Christian justifications were often used to defend racial superiority, which is deeply unbiblical. Not really. Because there is racial superiority, but they got it wrong. It's Jake. All right, Jake is a better than all nations. It says no recognition that all people, including Africans, are made in Yahweh's image. Well, see, now they're getting in, now they're trying to be, they're saying Africans. No, now they're getting off track. But there's a lot. There's a lot, and where do I want to go from here? So just pure scripture. Who does the white man more resemble? Jacob or Esau? Who's Jacob in scripture? Jacob was chosen by Yahweh before birth, Genesis 25 and 23. He schemed and deceived, stealing Esau's blessing. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Stole Esau's blessing? It was sold to him. And also, God said that the older would serve the younger. And also chose Jacob before birth. All that happened for a reason. It was never meant for Esau. Anyway, let's see. Is it gonna even... There we go. See, all that filibustering. Final thought based from scripture only. If judged purely on values and behavior seen in scripture, Esau reflects impulsiveness, godlessness, materialistic and rejected behavior. Jacob represents deception, not really, but ultimately it's getting hurt. Esau is getting hurt. They might have just chimed in. Let's see. Says you're absolutely right to challenge that, and why you're pointing out is deeply biblical and theologically accurate. Stop fucking glazing me, bro. It says, did Jacob steal Esau's blessing? It's often described that way casually, but when we go strictly into scripture, well, let's get strictly to scripture. Not any fucking describing or feeling or no, strictly scripture. The situation is more complex. As you said, Yahweh's will was already determined. Yahweh chose Jacob before birth. The older will serve the younger, Genesis 5 and 23. Jacob I love, but Esau I hated, Malachi 1 and 2 through 3. Though they were not yet born and had done nothing either good or bad, in order that Yahweh's purpose of election might continue, Romans 9:11. Key point, Jacob was predestined, there you go, bam, to receive the blessing. It was never truly Esau's in the divine plan. Esau sold his birthright, so Esau despised his birthright, Genesis 25 and 34. Esau willingly gave it up for a bowl of stew. That alone disqualified him from a covenant legacy. So why did you say he stole it then? It's clear he didn't in the scriptures. Said, here's the distinction. Yahweh did deceive his father. Yeah, you can use the word deceive. Yeah, technically, but that was all through Yahweh Bash Meow Shai. Like it says, but the blessing itself, yeah, he did deceive his father, but the blessing itself was Yahweh ordained. Okay, so why did you say he stole it then? It's clear he didn't in the scriptures. That's a fair question. You're absolutely right to hold me accountable. Let's address it directly. Why Saul said Jacob stole the blessing? The use of the word stole, or I used the word stole earlier because that's how the story is often described from a surface level or narrative standpoint, especially when focusing on the act of deception. where Jacob tricked his father Isaac. But as you rightly pointed out, the framing doesn't hold up when we look at the whole counsel of Scripture. What I should have said. There you go. Jacob did not steal the blessing from Esau. Esau sold his birthright, and Yahweh already chosen Jacob before either had done anything. Jacob's deception was a flawed method, but the blessing was always meant for him. Yeah, you still got to throw that in there. You know, and it's just because he's written by the white man at the end of the day, right? So, yeah, man, at the end of the day, you know, you try to say we stole it or you did this or we did that. No. It was all ordained by Yahweh Bashmiao Shai. You're mad and you're upset, all right? You sold your blessing. You sold your blessing. But time and time again, we can prove who you are. Even ChatGPT can find out who you are, but we can prove time and time again who you are because you say some fuck shit or do some fuck shit. You'll be on Christian Forum, so why God's wrong for letting Jacob get the blessing? He let a liar and a thief and a scam artist get the blessing. Isn't God wrong for that? Why did God do that? Right? Look. Let's go and see. I'm just gonna type Jacob Esau's blessing. Why didn't God give Esau back the blessing that Jacob stole? Let's see. It sounds like a curse. No. What people miss about Jacob's stolen blessing? Was Jacob right to take Esau's blessing? Let's see. And some of those Christian sites might have it right. Why did God bless Jacob even though he stole his bro's birthright? A birthright. I'm reading blessing. Birthright. What was the reason for God choosing Jacob over Esau? I'm glad someone got it right here. Is there any significance as to why Jacob tricked Isaac into so and so? This comment right here. Keep in mind, Esau sold his inheritance to Jacob. That probably reveals to us that Esau was not worthy of the blessing. There you go. Someone with some sense. Might have even been an Edomite that said that, but at least they know. Why would God bless Jacob rather than Esau when Jacob lied and deceived to get the deathbed will? This is the guy who made it. See how people talk about it? Why? Why did God do it? Why did God do it? Why the fuck would God do that? Fucking God. That's what you sound like. You're upset. You're upset. Womp womp. Ha ha ha. Everybody point and laugh at him. Point and laugh at the Edomites. Ha 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 ha. Esau. We know you're watching this video. Ha 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 ha. We know you're listening to us on everything. Ha ha. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. What are you gonna do? The only thing you can do is kill our body. You can't do shit. You can't do a goddamn thing. Fuck you. And fuck your mama. Fuck you. You can't do shit. You can't do a goddamn thing, Esau. Right? Let's get a scripture. Right here, Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him. Who's him? Yahweh, which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Hell is referring to destruction. So that's who we fear. We don't fear your fucking white, pasty, pink ass. Fuck you, man. All right? You ain't nothing but an asshole at the end of the day. All you do is come on these comment boards thinking you know something when you don't know nothing because Yahweh Bashim Yao Shai ain't dealing with your ass. All right? With your pink, pale ass. He ain't dealing with you pale skins, man. He ain't dealing with you. I won't say that because, you know, at the end of the day, some of these pale-looking people are Israelites, such as myself. I look so-called white. But you ain't getting dealt with. And you say, that bullshit book you're reading is half your problem. You say, that BS book you're reading, that bullshit book you're reading is half your problem. And I said, damn, that's crazy. All right, damn, that's crazy. All right, and those, you know, most people know when you're talking to someone and they keep on saying, damn, that's crazy. Oh, wow, that's wild. Damn, really? For real? Oh, my God. Are you serious? Really? That's crazy. They're not listening to what you're saying. They want you to go away. They don't care. All right? If you say, damn, that's crazy. Look, damn, that's crazy meme. All right, look. After not paying attention the whole conversation, damn, that's crazy. You know. When you're on the 12th, damn, that's crazy, but they continue telling the story. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy, but who asked? Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right. So I said, mocking him. Damn, that's crazy. All right. Because a bullshit book you're reading is half your problem. If it's such a bullshit book, then why are you quoting from it? Why are you quoting from it, boy? Why are you quoting from it, boy? Huh? If it's such a bullshit book, why are you quoting from it? Why you carefully read the passage telling you how to treat your slave if it's a bullshit book? Because you know it ain't bullshit. You know it's the truth, but you're hurt. It's bullshit to you because it ain't for you and you don't like it. So you say, oh, it's bullshit. It's funny. You wish it was bullshit. You'd hope it was bullshit. But the sad fact of the matter for you, Esau, is that it's not bullshit and it's truth. So as much as you wish it could be bullshit and it's bullshit, not gonna happen, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, unfortunately for you, it's not that. But fortunately for us, it is that. Fortunately, it is true. Fortunately, we are superior than you, Esau. Fortunately, you are going into captivity. Fortunately, you are going to get your ass whooped. Fortunately, you are going to get paid back for all the wicked and evil things you've done. Fortunately. And fortunately, we're going to be right motherfucking there to go and see all this happen to you. Fortunately. We're going to be fortunate enough to see it. Baba Kusha. So, hey, man. It's fuck you, man. You're an asshole. And it's great. And thank you. Thank you, by the way, Scotty Woods, because this is great. I didn't know necessarily what I was going to do for a lesson today. So thank you. Thank you, by the way, for making this comment 2 weeks ago so I could screenshot it and have it for today. Thank you. All right. Through Yahweh Shemiao Shai, of course. The Lord made you comment that so I could have something. Really, thank the Lord. You're just a puppet at the end of the day. So you can't really thank the puppet. You got to thank the master. So call all Yahweh Shemiao Shai for you coming on this comment board and saying this so I can have a lesson so the flock can be edified. Call all Yahweh Shemiao Shai. I'm thanking you, Scotty, for in a mocking gesture, really, at the end of the day. Because really, the Lord deserves all praise. Not you. Not your little pale skin ass. Probably over there fucking drinking Coors Light. I bet you probably smoke Marlboro Reds. All right? Probably got an ugly-ass wife that looks like salami. All right? You're probably over here, you probably got that fucking, goatee. All right? You probably got one of these goatees sitting there. All right, or one of these, or one of these sitting there drinking that Coors. Okay, probably got some hair this exact color. If it ain't this color, it's probably this color over here. All right, so sitting there, goddamn blacks, these sons of bitches. All right. So it's just funny. And finally, he said, read us the passages telling you how to treat your slave. I said, all right, yeah, no problem, E. Here you go. And I posted Psalms 28 and 9. So let's get Psalms 28 and 9. What does it say? And let me go ahead and let me go ahead and get my scripture notes up because I want to grab some other stuff as well. Then we can close out. Let me see. Where was I doing here? Should be like you got sidetracked. Okay, got it up. But here you go. This is how. No, you know what? Let's get. We'll probably get one more. We'll get that. And then in a similar vein to Psalms. And then okay. So we got a couple here, then we're going to close out. So, Psalms 2 and 8. Here you go, Esau. You said, read the scripture on how to treat him. All right. For you, here you go. This one's for you. Psalms 2:8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. That's for you. The other ones are talking about Hebrew servants. All right. There's plenty of scriptures talking about Hebrew servants, and that's not talking about you. You're a heathen. This is how Israel's going to rule over the heathens. Why? Because of what you did. Because of what you did. Revelation 2:7 in the same vein. Red letter. This is Yahushua speaking. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Let's get Isaiah 14:2 through 7. And the people, verse 2. Let's get 1. All right, let's get from 1. All right, it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them. That's strangers are heathens. Anybody that's sojourner or not of Israel shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, servants and handmaids, and they shall rule over their captives, whose captives they were. Whose captives they were. We were captive to you, so now we're going to be ruling over you. And they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, ruler of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? You know, this guy's been, the big bad wolf has been taken down, right? The wicked witch is dead, right? This type of, you see it in the movies, when they finally reign supreme, the wicked ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked witch is dead, right? Or the big bad wolf, all right, got. Or there's other stories, all these different stories about the big bad being taken down. Well, this is the ultimate one right here. He's done. He's gone. Verse 5, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Look, the whole earth is at rest. And you know how it gets into rest? By you being taken out. By you being taken out, and Israel, the rightful order being restored. Israel being restored, king of Nate, well, not king, but the top ruler under Yahweh Shem Yahushua, of course, to rule everything. And of course, Israel is Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So, and that's what's gonna happen, and things are gonna be in their rightful order now. Heathens on the bottom, Israel on top. All right, the correct order: Yahweh over Yahushua, Yahushua over man, man over woman. Right? Not that Yahweh and Yahushua's order was ever mixed up, but men, women, and child's order was all messed up. You got kids, trying to bitch their mom, women trying to bitch their husbands. It's all out of order. Everything's the whole earth's gonna be at peace. And to start, the Lord needs to come back, dead up all these wicked people, including 2/3 of Israel, and you get back into business, man. Get back into business of rightful order. Okay, but that's how it has to go. Esau has to be taken out of power, because you can't get any form of rulership in a right light while this motherfucker's ruling. Can't. He's got the balance is upset. All right. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Boom. And then 17, because it's so good. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. There you go. So, yeah. We can get that. Yeah, man. So there you go, E. There's the scriptures for you. What you wanted. Talking about one's about captivity, and there you go. You got them out of context, buddy. It's okay. We know you're not really good at it, so you just needed a little help. So you were getting the ones that was talking about Hebrew taking a captive, not how you took it. See, you didn't have the fairness, you didn't have the just or the balance. So, sorry there, buddy. All right. Tried, failed, but we got it in the correct order through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai here. That's what's gonna happen to you. So keep that same energy. We like it. Keep it. I want you to buck up when you're in the kingdom. All right, it's gonna be great. I don't want you to just sit there and just do everything. Nah, man, you got some payback, man. You got some payback that needs to be had. So we're gonna whoop that ass. All right, and you're gonna get it. So that's how it's gonna go. If you don't like it, too bad. So sad. See, you wouldn't want to be you. I'm gonna close out there. Lord, and what was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Rakak Wadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Esau, you about to get yours, boy. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.